Hi and welcome to the next episode in our official Inchcape Mercedes-Benz vlog series. Today we'll be reviewing the brand new C-Class Coupe, and I promise not to mess up the key this time. I'm Rebecca Sides, Fleet Manager, and I've chosen today the Obsidian Black C-Class Coupe. A little fact for you, Obsidian Black is one of the colours in our range, and all of our colours are named after minerals. So there's just a little fun fact for you today. Okay, a couple of things I didn't tell you last time about the key. There's actually a little lever on the top here. If you slide that across, and a blade will come out. Now, should the battery ever fail in the key, what this means is that you can still actually unlock the car using the blade itself. So you can use the blade on the handle or on the boot, and you can also lock the glove box as well should you wish to. So, okay, a few more things about the key. If you press and hold the open button on the key, all the windows will come down and the roof will open. So a nice little one if you're posing in a beer garden or something and you want to stand out while you're in the car park. Now, coming over to the car and the keyless go, which is on this particular model, down here you will see that there's a little indent on the actual handle itself. If you press the little indent here, and then the car will unlock, which means that you can open it, and then once you've closed the car, and if you want to lock it without the key, press the indent again, the electric mirrors will fold up and the car will of course lock. To open the fuel cap, just press it in once and then it will pop open. If you untwist the cap, and there's a little holder here so that you don't scuff any of the paint on the car itself. And then when you're finished refueling, pop it back in, a full twist, you'll hear it click and that means it's locked. This particular car has got AdBlue. Like I said previously, for full details, just make sure that you speak to your local dealer about this particular fuel which goes into the car. Coming onto the fuel cap itself here, you have your tyre pressures if you should ever need them, and a quick press and we're closed. Right, to open the boot, you'll notice on the back there's actually no button to open the boot. So again, I'm going to use the key. Press and hold the key and it will click. Now, a few things from up here. Here you have your button to close the car. So a quick press of this and the boot will close. But if you press this button here, if you've forgotten to lock the car, if you actually press that, and then it will also lock all of the doors on the car as well. Okay, so coming into the boot itself, here on the left-hand side we have a first aid kit and some yellow vests. These come as standard with the car, and of course if you ever break down, etc., make sure you have these on so you're visible to the services. Under the boot floor, you'll see your handbook and wallet, which gives you full details of everything that's on the vehicle. There's a luggage net and also a luggage rack, and you've also got some tie-down hooks here as well, so that if you ever have loads in there that you want to secure, you can tie them down. Just shut that floor back over. A couple of things here. You've got a white pull-down cord here, which if you pull it, you'll see a hook come down. This is actually called a curry hook. And what that means is that when you've got your shopping and you put it in the boot, if you hook your bags, not multiple handbags, if you hook your bags onto this hook here, it will stop all your shopping rolling all around the floor and your tins of beans going right to the back of the boot. If you want to use your split folding seats, which is on this particular car, you have levers here and here. And if you give a pull on both of those together, then the seats will fold down. And then, as discussed before, press the button here and the boot's closed and the car's locked. Moving inside the car and starting with the driver's door. Over here you'll see that this particular model, as I mentioned before, has got memory seats. So this means that you have electric lumbar support for all parts of your seat. So to move forward or back, press here. To move the lumbar support back or forward, press here. And to move your headrest up or down, use this button here. Once you've got a position that you're happy with, if you press M and then if you hold 1, and then that will set that position to memory 1. And then, for example, if you have another driver that wants to sit in a different position, M and then 2, and then that will set that position for driver number 2. So if you have a husband or wife, or if you have multiple drivers within a vehicle, you can get in the car and press for whichever number which you want to sit at. Personally, I'd always want to be number 1. Okay, so next button to that is the heated seats button, which is standard on this particular car. If you press it once, 3 red lights will come on, which will mean that it's on full heating. If you press it again, it will drop down to 2, and press it again, which will drop down to level 1. Now, these levels will automatically drop over time because, of course, they don't want you to melt your bum. But you can override it and press it manually yourself if you want to as well. Moving slightly further down, you will see here that the car's got automatic locking. So when you drive off, the car will automatically lock. But if you pick somebody up and you need to let them in, if you press this button here, it will open the car, and this button here will, of course, close it. Moving across to here, you have your electric windows and electric mirrors. The top button here, if you press it, if you're driving through a narrow space, will automatically close the mirrors in. And then if you're driving out to that tight space, if you press it again, and they'll automatically open. Then moving lower down, we have your left and your right buttons to operate your electric mirrors. So if you press the left button, a little red light will illuminate, and then you can use the up, down, left or right arrows to just put the mirror in the best position for you. Slightly lower down, you have your electric windows for left or for right, and of course it's just one press and it will go up or down. Slightly lower down, and we have your boot opening button here, a quick pull, and then the boot will open. Coming over to inside the car itself, and you will see here, first of all, we have your automatic lights. So automatic means that when the light goes dark outside, they'll automatically come on, etc., etc. You also have your fog lights button here. So if you press that button once, and then your fog lights will come on, and to turn off, you just press again. Moving slightly further down, we have your handbrake release. If you pull it once, the handbrake will go off, and you will see the letter P go from the screen. If you press it in, the handbrake will go back on, and you will see the letter P come on the screen. That of course means that your handbrake is on. Okay, so coming over to the steering wheel itself, up here you'll see that you have your gear shift column, which is actually on the steering wheel. What this means is that you have more space in the centre column. It makes the car more streamlined, and also it's a really nice and convenient position for the driver to be able to use the steering column. So in order to make this work, you have to have your foot on the brake, okay? So it's foot depressed fully on the brake, and it's straight down into drive, it's up into reverse, and you press the silver button on the end to put your parking brake on. Now your parking brake is separate to your handbrake, so make sure you put both of those on. It is important to use both. Starting with the buttons on the left hand side of the steering wheel, the left hand arrows will change your menus on your actual dashboard screen. So you've got trip, navigation, radio, media, telephone, etc., etc. If you want to come out of one of those menus, you can press this button here, which will take you back. And then this particular button here will just take you home to the start screen. You have here your buttons to be able to answer and end a call. You can pick up the phone, hang up the phone. If it's someone that you don't like, button, don't want to speak to you. Too many people who know me will know that I miss too many calls. Honestly, I'm not doing that to you, I promise. And volume over here if you want to increase or decrease the volume. You've also got a mute button here as well. So say, for example, you just want to mute the microphone whilst you're in the car. That's a good one. Another feature I want to show you on this car is the reversing camera. In order to activate, foot on the brake and up on the gear shift into reverse. Now let me just show you what it looks like from behind the car. One of the smartest design features on the C-Class Coupe is the concealed reversing camera, which is actually hidden under the Mercedes-Benz badge. So when you pop the car into reverse, you'll see the Mercedes-Benz badge pop out, and then the hidden reversing camera will appear. It's actually that clear that I can actually see how good my contour is. Hi! Even with its sleek design, which is actually based upon the S-Class Coupe, the C-Class Coupe is still really, really practical. Whether you've got little kids or big kids like these two, it really is excellent for size. So we thought we'd do a bit of a size challenge and see actually if we can fit grown adults in the back of this car and not those two children who were messing around before. So I'm 5'8", and I actually thought I was quite tall for a lady, but we've got Louise, who's 5'11", and John, who's 5'10". As you can see, my seat is fully extended. I'm in a really comfortable position for driving. There's plenty of room here for me, and also the passengers in the back have got lots of space too. So this car really is completely and utterly practical, even though it's only a three-door coupe. You may not think it, but I do actually know a few things about what's under the bonnet as well. So before I finish the review, let's go and take a look. So under the bonnet we go. On the left-hand side, you'll feel a little lever. Just give that a pull and the bonnet will rise. As you can see, it's on hydraulics, so you don't need to put a lever in to hold the bonnet up. That will automatically stay for you. Okay, so a few things. This particular car is a C250 diesel coupe, which means it's a 2143cc engine and 204 brake horsepower. Now, the engine itself, I can't actually show you too much because you can see it's concealed under this black plastic cover, which basically is there for soundproofing. So what that means is that it doesn't allow all of the sound to come out from the engine. So whilst you're driving the car, you get a nice quiet ride, which of course historically hasn't been familiar on diesel engines, but we have this on these particular cars. On the top also you'll see the Mercedes-Benz star, which of course stands for land, sea and air. Now we discussed that on the AMG GTS video, which we filmed a few weeks ago, so make sure you check that out if you haven't seen it yet. That's also on our YouTube channel. So, a few things which you may need to know about the engine on a day-to-day basis. Should you need to top up your wiper fluid, it's to the top right of the engine just up here. So, in order to open the cap, give it a quick lift, fill that up, and of course once you're full, knock the little cap back on just to make sure it doesn't leak, and then that's nice and secure. Something which also you may need to do on, say, a 6 monthly basis is to check your oil. You may need to do it more frequently, so don't take that as the law of checking, but just as a guide. Coming to the centre then is where your oil is. So this is your oil fill cap, which you can see with the little yellow oil lamp on, a bit like Aladdin's lamp. And then to the back here, very clearly marked in orange, is your dipstick. Now, in order to check your oil, pull the lever out fully. Make sure you give it a wipe with some tissue first, and then insert the lever back in, and then pull out again. That will allow you to get a really good, concise reading of how much oil is in the car, because you've already cleaned the dipstick once. So that's just a little check on how to do that. To the left-hand side of the engine, you have your coolant, so you can put coolant fluid in if you wanted to for the engine. And to the right-hand side, you have your power steering fluid. Probably things that you'd get done at the dealer, but just pointing out to you where they are should you need them. Now, a final thing which I thought would be quite helpful is how to jump start a car. Now, hopefully you won't have to do that, but should you need to, let me just talk you through it. So down here we have a gold bolt. Now, this is your earth. So this is where the black cable would go when you're jumping the car. And up here, hidden behind a little red cover, is your positive. So this is the charging point for the battery. So this is where your red cable would go. So just to confirm, always make sure you put your black cable on first, because that earths the car and keep you nice and safe. And then up here, you'd put your red cable, and then you'd go ahead and jump the car. Now, just to make sure that's all nice and concealed, I'm just going to slide that back over. But there's just a few things to tell you about the engine. So that brings us to the end of our C-Class Coupe review. I hope you've enjoyed watching. If there's anything at all that I've missed, be sure to comment below, and I promise I'll get back to you. Now, one thing before I go, pick up your phone and follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. There you'll get daily offers and updates from the full Mercedes-Benz range. Hopefully I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Click on screen now to view other episodes in our Mercedes-Benz vlog series.